We found this in Dain agus Oran Gillespie Grant. It's a collection of Eairdsidh Tailleir's poetry and songs. So Eairdsidh Tailleir was one of our bards in Glenmoristo. Son Ballantambuie, as many know, Cuyuv Afurachan. He was from Ballantambuie. He was alive between 1785 and 1868, I think he died. And Oran de Carrigo na Oran Shellige, hunting song, the song for Carrigo, a particularly famous place, a particularly good place to go and to hunt. Now, the poet, Eairdsidh Tailleir, he harkens back to the great hunt of his youth, which he participated in for Seamus Ogg, who was the 12th Laird of Grant. 12th Laird.
He was young.
Yeah, Seamus Ogg, yeah. Yeah, they were all quite young. So because he mentioned Seamus Ogg, you thought you'd date it to between 1806 and 1811, this hunt took place. And the poet is, obviously older, and he's harkening back to it. Nishe, chai and chalag ag an sin chai she dianag she an tainchal of alman. She had in tainchal, mar a conachge, mar a conachge. The old style of hunting was rather brutal, of course, with hounds and beaters driving just about any animal that got in their way, it seemed sometimes, towards the Eairdsidh, the trap. And once all these animals were in the trap, that's when the hunters would take aim and they'd dispatch them. And Eairdsidh Tailleir, he describes it really like abundant landscape in Carrigo in the time of his youth when he went hunting with Seamus Ogg. What's really cool about Carrigo, and many of these place names are mentioned in the song, but the place names are to do with this hunt. There is Scurin and Conaverin, the peak of the dog handlers, and Eairdsidh, the Eairdsidh, and Tailleir na Shellige, the great hillock, the great hunting hillock. Cudjoch, Bealach and Amish, the pass from which to aim, and that is above the Eairdsidh, so quite strategically placed. So, if you walk in Carrigo, you can follow this kind of route of the hunt, if you like. Cudjoch, so the guy Cudjoch's many like character in Eairdsidh, because the Fianna were said to hunt from one end of the glen to another. I'm a dull good key short to go, but all right. I fism yin she got good right the shall go into Dongyan Hanatavile. And now van year Haninier of a no van near Haninier. Okay. Achignan Conaverin. Shag. Achignan Conaverin. Haninier. So basically okay. So from west to east, because and that's interesting, because well, anyway, basically, if you can imagine, so there's Scurin and Conaverin in Carrigo, the peak of the dog handlers, and Achignan Conaverin, the field of the dog handlers. Basically, there are many place names in Glenmoristo that could relate to hunting, or indeed to the hunt of the Fianna. You have Cailleach na Féine, the wood of the Féine. Cailleach na Féine, where they'd have their picnic, I think. And just all the in their quarry, there are very many. There's Ceit and Turk, the Rock of the Boar, Sran na Milke, the Sran of the pig, that was exactly how this group of warriors, the Fianna, superhuman warriors, would hunt. They had hounds, and they would drive the animals towards the Eairdsidh, towards that. So that's very nice. That's pretty neat. You can go to Carrigo, you can sing this song, you can connect with the place names in the hunt, or you can think about the Fianna as well with those place names. It's really nice. I like it when that happens. But in Eairdsidh Tailleir's time, of course, the way the land, the access those people had to that land it changed drastically. The early 19th century, much of that land was turned over for the grazing of sheep, and also the style of hunting changed, and it wasn't something that a lot of people had access to so much. So it culminates in the last line of the song, Sound Agumse, Aha and Faramad, Rishin Chalag, Eairdsidh and Jay. Smee that is envious for the hunt that you took part in of yesteryears. Smarshan Oran do Charagoma. Hamidalgal Balga Mishkin Dosho. Janakus Breen. Gummiswan dan fydd gleiste, chaialig do hemysog. Hugdal down y feiniad, chapeledd gweifles y iod. Nan creid y gad, mos gialach sy, chaniwch lwm fyr I bost. Men yr ahan y gad, yn talt ei gein, gymbarich, na fe ganion. Gyrmich gaf I geiri, sy'n sy'n bwy mi falaf. Men jaram et môr a ierich, gafel mach na heiltje maraf. Fahig ach baul a jemeshev, sy'n leidjag mi yn chech jarag. Sy'n taring nan a fe geif, awn syhle cym ddys garaf. Gyrioch yn iugach mi, y falaf e milchan heng. Hiol yn geif na criochan, awn sy'n treig na reb mi mang. Mahash y pen, choin cheniach, is kinchach as for life. Vier gewach arn vrievach is youth of gleich na naut. Vier gev karn the gloisage slach roed I vier get down. Jev chibach is mushach ounce and you we glug is mine. Maar doe de gat, like die gat, gan de rug of fijn. Gemoor en de versmenje ging, maar de rug of straan en ground. Go cube, ach cref, ach cyddig yn och, go siamra, go chlem iawn. Ha bieldydd yn am brwch yn nawn, siel lws ys wash le hawn. Ha gach lws a chwal ys awn, nym buan in a awn. Sget gagina ed gloina, siel lwch yd fieg na bawn. Seglech geinig like gleisje, far an leich na con an illich. Sy'n down a ranning, an yn chim na darach hein. Sian eisiau chwm y fan na bhí Eairdsidh nam céim. Sound na hagams a ham faramud Rishan chalag Oran shiv and jay